Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. It's been a while since my last video, so hello, how are you wonderful creatives? I hope you had a lot or at least some creative time lately. Current events have been really overwhelming, so I didn't feel like it was the best time to think about art or making videos. I took a short break from art making and coming back only a week later wasn't easy. It took developing some new routines to get back to that creative spark, motivation and ideas. In this video I will be showing what I've been working on, or rather the process I have been enjoying lately. I was using a lot of gouache and I felt a little bit guilty that I'm not using my watercolors anymore. I have quite a few paints in my collection, so seeing them unused always makes me feel bad. I wanted to get back into watercolors and enjoy them again, so I've been starting my pieces with a loose watercolor wash and painting in gouache over the dried watercolor background. It turns out that these two mediums that are so similar in some ways and different in others play very well together. I feel like with this process I have the best of both worlds, while not spending multiple hours layering transparent washes. And while having my fun using both, I discovered that this is what works for me and noticed some consistency in my work. I guess that's how you find and develop your own art style. So I wanted to give you some tips on that, now that I think that I understood how it works. I've watched videos on how to find your style and there are a few good ones out there. Artists often say that you need to practice a lot and be patient. Your style will emerge in the process. And that's true, I can definitely attest to that. It really does work this way. But there is one more thing you should keep in mind. I see most beginners following many tutorials, which is fine, that's how I learned too. But the problem I've seen in my early work was I always adapted the style of the artists I followed closely. And in my sketchbooks I can tell which image comes from which artists. As soon as I've noticed that I painted from reference photos in the style of another artist, I have completely stopped following them for a while. I knew that I needed to stop using their tutorials if I ever wanted to produce something original. There are artists that have a very specific style and make great tutorials, so you can paint along and get the exact same result. If you do this many times over many months, you will adapt their style and will have trouble developing your own. I see so many creatives on Instagram that have been following one specific artist for many months and often end up painting similar things in a very similar style. And some of them then offer paid workshops to teach this style. So my tip for you is try to use tutorials to learn a specific thing or technique rather than to paint the exact same image. Try using different colors and using tutorials to learn how to achieve good contrast, how to adjust your values or make something look three-dimensional. For example, if you're learning how to paint a white flower, pay attention to colors that can be used, how layers are applied, where to deepen your values, and so on. Then use your own reference photo and try to use the things you've observed to paint your own white flower. This is how I'm learning now. If I don't know how to fill the foreground of my piece, I look at different artists, how they compose their foreground, what kinds of elements can be placed there. How can I add texture to add interest without overdoing the piece? I've also started building my visual library of different botanical elements like leaves, tiny florals, trees. I do this in my sketchbook, and then when I'm painting a piece I have no idea how to fill the space, I look for inspiration in my own sketchbook. I've learned this tip in one of the courses by Sarah Van Dongen. Sarah is one of my favorite illustrators and she has the best tips. My last tip for this video will be use the art supplies that bring you joy. If you love using crayons, experiment in your work and try different ways of using them. Using different art supplies will make it easier to develop your own signature style that will be recognizable. With all that said, I don't want you to think that you absolutely need to work on your art style or that you need to have one. A lot of us, me included, do art to relax and as a hobby. So obviously, if you don't want to sell your work, enjoy all the tutorials you can squeeze in your free time. And if you do want to have your own style at some point, even if you don't plan on working as a professional artist, I hope that these tips will be helpful. Thank you for staying until now. Please leave a like and comment if you liked the video. Let me know if you want to have your own signature style or if it doesn't matter to you. At the end of this video, I will show you the finished piece as well as a few others I painted these past few weeks. Thank you for watching and until next time.
Hard to see from the moment we arrived. Cornelia, you are one who will survive. When time's been bad, you put smiles